National Signing Day is here. This is the Athletic Scholarship Podcast, episode number 69. Welcome to the Athletic Scholarship Podcast. I'm Jon Fugler, athletic scholarship coach, and a dad of 2 scholarship athletes. I'm also the CEO of Recruit Me, a podcaster, author, and speaker. And the sponsor of this show is my new book, The Athletic Scholarship Playbook, a complete college recruiting roadmap for high school athletes and parents. It's available on Amazon. This podcast is 15 minutes that will change your scholarship future, so I dig in and give you takeaways you can use right away. And you can find every episode on my website at recruitme.com, but it's easier on an app like the Apple Podcast app, the newly redesigned app, also Stitcher, TuneIn Radio, iHeart, and others. And my book, The Athletic Scholarship Playbook, I've been working on the audiobook, and that is, it's going to come out any day. I've recorded it, it's been edited, it's been sent off to Audible for their approval, and barring no problems, it should be available, well, they say in about a week, so we'll see how that goes. Hopefully they won't kick it back and have me record something else. But anyway, that's coming out. If you like to listen, then that's a great opportunity. And I did that because families can benefit by listening together and experiencing together. By the way, you can receive a free chapter from my Athletic Scholarship Playbook on my website. Go there at recruitme.com and download it and check it out. Okay? So do that, and it is yours free at recruitme.com. National Signing Day. Here it is as this episode releases on November 7th. Tomorrow is the beginning of a big week for a lot of athletes. And you may have been anticipating that, and hopefully you will get an offer and sign a national letter of intent. Now, as I record this, I'm recording this on Saturday, and it is a wind-whipped day here in Colorado Springs. And just outside my window, I can look across, and I can see them getting set for this afternoon's Air Force Army game. And I can just imagine with these, I think, 40-mile-an-hour winds and gusting a little bit higher, what the game is going to be like. But so football is in the air right here, which puts me in the spirit of doing this episode. And as this releases, then we look ahead to the 8th, which is Wednesday, tomorrow, which is the beginning of National Signing Day. I just want to say a few things about that, and then want to share some things with you that, you know, if you don't get this offer, if you don't sign a national letter of intent, all is not lost. And I want to give you the right perspective, because this National Signing Week is not an end-all. It doesn't mean if you get an offer, you're in. If you don't get an offer, you're out. That's not true. Your scholarship is not defined on whether you sign this week or not. And so most of the sports have it coming up. Football is next month, but you got basketball, you've got basically almost every sport. Tomorrow starts that week where you can sign. Football is, as I mentioned, next month. We've got soccer and men's water polo. It's not till February. So that's in this early signing period that those are the dates. But for most sports, and you're hearing a lot about it, and you will see a lot of coverage in the news and sports about all these kids who are signing the national letter of intent. So it's the early signing period. Then you've got the regular signing period, which happens after the first of the year. And it depends on what sport you're in. In fact, you can go to here. Let me give you a website you can go to, okay? Because this has the dates. It's you can go to the NCAA website and do a search for National Letter of Intent. But here's one if you want to take this down in your mind as you're listening. But the actual, you can go nationalletter.org, all right? Nationalletter.org. And let me give you the slash and whatever it is so you can look at this even in more detail so you don't have to do a search. Nationalletter.org /signing dates. nationalletter.org/signing dates/future.html. nationalletter.org/signing dates/future.html. And that's how you can take a look and see what the dates are for all the sports. And as I mentioned, there are different dates for different sports, but the big one for most sports for the early period is coming up tomorrow on the 8th. So that's just to give you that perspective. And you're going to be overwhelmed because you're going to see in the news, oh, so-and-so signed. They're going to have pictures and they're going to have video and all that. And you're sitting back and you're saying, well, I didn't sign. So I guess I'm not going to get a scholarship. Well, don't be thinking that, because there's a whole lot more time before next year when fall rolls around and you're enrolling in college. There is a whole lot more time, and a lot of athletes get signed after this period, okay? So don't lose heart. In fact, what I want to share with you in this episode are 5 things that you should do in responding to National Signing Week, I should say, if you haven't been signed yet. Okay? So I just want to give you 5 things to help get your perspective so you don't lose heart. First thing is keep your chin up. Not everyone will sign this week. The regular period, as I said, is after the first of the year. In some sports, it's even in the spring. It's even in the spring, like most sports, in fact, outside, basketball, the regular period's April 11th and on. Football, the regular period is February 7th and on. And then most other sports, it's April 11th and on. So there is lots of time. This is just the early signing period. Second thing is stick with your plan. If you've been following me at Recruit Me and you've been applying the things that you have learned and you set up your plan and you're pursuing with college coaches your communication and your approach to schools and coaches, you got this step-by-step plan, maybe even got my book and you're working it through, man, stick with that plan. Don't panic. Don't all of a sudden just say, I've got to rush. I'm panicking and I got to get signed and what's going to happen? I'm not going to go to college. I'm not going to get a scholarship. It's easy for those things to go through your mind, and you can become anxious when you see others sign this week. But stick with your plan. And I say that because this plan that you've worked with Recruit Me, it works. I've seen it work. I mean, athletes are going to get signed right up to the end next year. So stick with it. If you're not a senior this year and you're listening and you're hearing this, then I would just encourage you to take note of this, because you'll be here next year or the year after on this date and this National Signing Week, and you might be in a situation where you're not being signed yet, which is not unusual. Stick with your plan. I encourage you that it doesn't matter whether it's this week or whatever, you've got to stick with your plan. One of the things that happens, and one of the biggest reasons for failure, is that not only in this process, but in so many things in life, we have a plan, we begin to work it, and then we stop. And success could be right around the corner. This is in all of life. You've got to continue to work the plan, because success takes time. You're not exactly sure when it's going to happen. And when you drop off, when you nix the plan, then you're not going to have the success. But success could be right around the corner. It takes time, and there's a lot of psychological reasons why we get so close and then we cut it off and we fail because we don't stick with the plan. I encourage you to stick with your plan. If you don't have a plan, then I will unashamedly say, go get my book on Amazon, the Athletic Scholarship Playbook. That is a plan that you can follow. And that's probably the cheapest way, the fastest way you can get your plan established and go through with it, is get a hold of my book, okay? At least get the first chapter and see if you like it or not. So the third thing is that you want to do in response to the National Letter of Intent and you didn't get signed is this. find out how many scholarships coaches have, how many openings they have, scholarship openings at their school. So I didn't say that right. So I'm not going to edit this. You're going to get this as it comes out of my mouth. But let me say this again. Find out from coaches how many scholarship openings they have. All right? So after the signing period is over, go back to them and say, hey, and they will have openings. How many openings do you have? And that will encourage you when you see that, hey, there are a lot of opportunities still out there. And that's not bad to go to coaches and say, hey, I'm really interested in a scholarship, but I know that you signed a lot of athletes last week or last month, whatever it might be. And I'm wondering, are there even any scholarship openings available? Because I really want to compete for one of them. And find out from them how many. That'll give you some perspective. The fourth thing is, because you may be a little bit discouraged right now, whether you're a parent or whether you're an athlete, and you've been pushing, hoping that you'll get signed in the early period and you don't, and you see that others did, maybe some friends did. I would encourage you just to take a break. We need a refresh. We need to reset. And this is a good time to do that. Take a couple weeks. Thanksgiving's coming up, so perhaps you say, well, I'm going to hit it again December 1st. I'm going to go after it December 1st. That's an important month, too, because you'll have winter break in there, and you can take some time. That was big for us with our boys. We use winter break to do some major things in our athletic scholarship work. But take a break. That's not bad. We need breaks anyway. There are times that you're going to have to do that. You just can't keep going on this marathon. You got to take a water break, take a rest, walk a little bit, do that. And this is a good time to do it. And psychologically, emotionally, it really helps to take a break and then take another run at this. Pick up your plan from where you're at. Remember, stick with the plan, pick up the plan, but take a break. There is nothing wrong with that. And then the last thing I wanted to share with you that you can do, and this is after you take your break, and I think about December 1st, is hit it hard. Then hit it hard. Come back at it from December 1st through the 31st and do the things that you can do to continue to work your plan. Be refreshed. Go for it. Make this a year-end push for you on whatever you might be doing, whether it's sending emails to coaches, whether it's getting your video done, whether it's sending updates to coaches, whatever you might be doing in the steps along the way. Use this last month of the year to hit it hard. Now, let me go back up a little bit. The number 4 and 5, take a break and hit it hard, that's a rhythm. And you want to do that throughout this process. You cannot go after this for 3 straight years or even a couple years or a year without taking a breath, taking a breather, taking a break, and then come back and hit it hard. So those are the 5 things that I would encourage you with after the signing period, the early signing period this week, is to step back. If you did sign, congratulations. Congratulations. That national letter of intent that you signed is binding, by the way. Meant to say that at the beginning, so be careful. You got to really be sure that this is what you want to do and that's the school you want to go to. But if you don't get signed, which is most athletes, okay, let's admit it, most athletes will not get signed this period. If that's you, then what I ask you to do is these 5 things. 1, keep your chin up. 2nd, stick with your plan. 3rd, find out from coaches how many scholarship openings they have. 4th, take a break. And 5th, once you've taken that break, hit it hard. So that's what I have to share with you during this episode. I want to encourage you to download my freebie, the first chapter from my athletic scholarship playbook. Go ahead and grab that, and you'll be on your way. You'll find out about the myths of athletic scholarships and be looking soon for my Audible book. Next week, I'm going to dive into something really practical for you. I'm not going to share with you what it is right now, but it's going to be very, very applicable and practical. All these episodes are, but this one in particular that will help you out as you continue the push to an athletic scholarship. Well, that's it for now. You take care and have a great week. If you sign this week, congratulations in advance. and we wish you the very, very best.